In today's video, we're going to go over the old sales interview question of sell me this pen. Now, I'm going to do it in three ways. I'm going to go over what that question is trying to discover about you, why that's important, and what you can do instead. Now, a lot of the videos that you might see on YouTube jump right into some advanced sales techniques and they just give you the demonstration on it. What I'm going to do is gear this a little bit more towards the beginner level, the explanation behind it, so that it makes a lot more sense to you. And then you can find your own approach to your actual sales conversations based on sell me a pen. With that, I want to jump right in. If you haven't been to this channel before, I'm Kirk Van Linden with Teach Me to Sell. Our main goal here is to take the mysticism, the scariness, the fear out of sales and really help you spend less time selling and more time serving your clients. With that, let's jump right in. So what are we really trying to do with that question, sell me this pen? The main outcome that comes from asking someone to sell you a pen is that you can very quickly determine if they know what they're doing or if they're an amateur. So an amateur will typically feature dump and they'll start telling you all of the description of the pen itself. And somebody who knows what they're doing won't jump into that, and instead they'll jump into asking you, what are you really looking for in a pen? Why is that important? And they'll be asking questions. That's the big discrepancy out of the gate. So within 10 seconds of asking that question, you'll know right away if somebody has done sales before, if they have a process and what that process is. The other part of that question also shows if you're nervous when you're selling. Are you comfortable? Does this seem like a chair that you've sat in before? Have you played the role of a salesperson? Or are you nervous and trying to figure it out for the first time ever? Now, by the way, in a sales interview, either one is okay. Sometimes they're actually looking for your personality, not necessarily your experience, because you can be trained in sales. You can learn sales and you can learn a process and approach. But if you don't have the confidence, the charisma, the personality to ultimately be likable and somebody that wants to be around you, it's a lot harder to train the EQ skills, the personality, the social and self-awareness piece, okay? So that's what the question is. It's designed to determine which side of the fence you sit on. Now, why is that important? Exactly as I mentioned, one is going to be, do you require additional training? Can you do this job? Have you done it before? If you came in saying that you did sales and that was your approach, is to feature dump, then you already have lost some credibility in that, right? But also a good thing that it's useful for is, now that I know where you are, it's a benchmark, I know where to start the training. I don't want to start training for you in the beginning if you already know a bunch about sales. If you do a stellar job on the sell me a pen discussion, then I'm going to actually go into more of the advanced stuff with you. I'm not going to waste your time because you have a process. We're now just going to tweak and sculpt your process and make it even better. Your process, no matter how great it is, there's always room for improvement. I have never hit perfection and I never will. And that's one of the things that I love most about sales is it's a constant, never-ending progress and it can be a ton of fun. Now, how are you going to use that in a conversation? Well, let's first jump into how you would approach it if you were doing this as somebody who knows sales. Instead of jumping in and saying, this pen, boy, it's a really great pen, feature dumping, remember. It's a really great pen. It has a nice grip for your fingers, but it's also ergonomically correct. It's great for your wrist. It writes upside down. It has black ink. It lasts a long time. Any of these features, that's me feature dumping on you. I might find something that sticks. I might accidentally tell you the things that you wanted to hear, but that's not a good way to approach it. A much more on purpose way is to figure out, well, what matters to you? So in an interview question, if you were in that scenario, then a better approach, instead of saying, it's got a grip and it's upside down and all that kind of stuff, you could say, sure, I'd be happy to help you with finding the very best pen for you. But I don't know if this one is the right one for you or not. However, we can figure that out in a very quick amount of time here. Tell me, why are you looking for a pen? Why today? Why is it important to you? And tell me about the attributes of the ideal pen for you. Paint me a picture of what you've got in your mind right now. Now, through the questioning of whatever you want, what are you looking for? Why is it important? How soon do you need it? Whatever questions I'm going to ask about you, you're telling me what you need. I don't have to convince you that this is the right pen now. When I'm done and you've told me, or when you're done and you tell me all of the things that you're looking for and why it's important, Well, now I can tell you the attributes of this pen if or how it actually meets those needs, right? So if you're like, well, I'm looking for a pen that it's got to be comfortable, because I've been using these cheap Bic pens and I write for hours on end and it starts to really hurt my finger. It has these ridges, it's octagonal, and I find my finger starting to hurt because I'm pushing right on the grooves. Also, I end up running out of ink too soon. So that's another thing. I'm looking for a pen that lasts longer, it's comfortable on my fingers, and I really need it to be in black ink. So comfort and functionality and all of those things. Then I can say, okay, first of all, I really appreciate you sharing all of that. That helps me narrow down. Basically what you just did is you eliminated about 95% of all of the pens that we offer. So now you and I can just talk about the 5%. Now, based on what you told me, the very first one that comes to mind to me for you is actually this particular pen, because you mentioned that you were looking specifically for black ink. This is one of our very highest quality black ink pens that we offer. Now, comfort, that's what you actually led with, and that was the most important. That actually is the number one reason why I want to show you this pen. This pen not only is a very perfect and scientific size for your fingers, but it has a rounded edge, no longer that octagonal shape that you had mentioned that you don't like. This one's very round. But it also has this rubber pad that has about 1.25 inches length that allows you the variety of where you like to hold the pen, how you like to hold the pen. And many of the most prolific writers that we have who own this particular pen specifically talk about the comfort and the ease of use, where they can write for hours on end without ever thinking about the pressure on their fingers. With that being said, I'm really interested in knowing, what are your first impressions? Or why don't you write a little bit with this particular pen and give me your initial thoughts about it? And so what I'm doing, if you can see the difference, is I'm not trying to convince you. I'm trying to get really clear about what you want, why you want it, and then I'm going to present you with only solutions that meet that criteria. And then I'm going to keep looking for your buy-in, because you're going to make the decision, not me. I'm just going to help you find it faster. My job is to help you get to the most educated decision for yourself. My job is to help put the right things in front of you based on what you want, not what I want. And if it works for you, fantastic. I'm going to make it easy. The next steps in the process, I'm going to help you with that and make that part easy. So that's my main role here. My main role isn't to convince you to buy goods or services that you don't need or want. My job is to get really, really clear about what's most important to you, and then show you the things that I've got that match that criteria that you have, and then help you make a decision, help you take action today. If it's going to give you what you want, it's going to get you where you want to go, then I want to help you do that. That's it. Remember, this is the beginner level. This is the 101. It was the what that question is doing, why it's important, and what you can do instead. And I also included how you could approach that question. So why is that important for you in your business? It's the exact same when you're talking to your prospective client. You could approach it with somebody who doesn't know sales at all, which is, I'm just going to feature dump why it's great to work with me and what I can do for you, or I'm just going to show you, here's my process, or here's my technique, or here's my whatever. But it's not about you. It's about your prospective client. What pain are they currently in, or what desired future outcome do they ultimately want, and why is that important to them? And when you get that, now you can talk about what you have to offer and find out, does that sound like it would be something that would add value to what you're looking for? Does that sound like a solution that you would be interested in talking more about, right? Or something like that. So those are the three aspects of that. I hope you found that helpful. If you like this video and you want to go a little deeper into more of the technique, more of the language of what that could actually sound like in a conversation, let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to create another video and go a little deeper. We'll maybe do the 201 version of Sell Me a Pen. But that's the question explained. While you're waiting for the next videos to come out, make sure you check out these videos. Until next time, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.